I'm going to choose these topics. I'm going to choose some topics, but let's start with this colonial economy first. I have some topics, and I'm talking directly to my SS3 classes. We know we've done with all this topic, but I'm just for the emphasis of revision. So let's just talk about it and pinpoint and highlight some major points on colonial economy, how it underdeveloped Africa, and the nature of colonial economy. Now, what do you understand by the word colonial economy? Now, when looking at these two words, you know it's two different words. We talk about economy. When you talk about economy, you're going to talk about the state of a particular, the nature of a region or a state. When it comes to production, when it comes to production and the consumption of the capital of that particular country. And when we talk about colonial, we're talking about foreign people, how they came and colonized Africa. But we are emphasizing mostly on Nigeria, or using Nigeria as our case study. So when we talk about colonial economy, it's a word that is joined together. Colonial economy, it simply means a colonial system that is derived or that is designed to exploit the material, the resources, and the labor of Africa. Listen to the word, you get the three words. It's talking about it is designed to exploit the resources, one, the labor, two, and the materials or raw materials of Africa. Now, when we talk about labor, labor is we are the labor people. When you talk about labor, you're talking about people that can enforce or do one of two things with their physical strength or mental strength. So they came to exploit that one. And raw resources, they came to exploit it. When I talk about raw resources, we have different raw resources. It's not only Nigeria that have raw resources. But like I said, we're trying to drive it back, down, center into Nigeria. But when we talk about, let me digress and talk about it to other African countries. When we talk about African countries, what is Ghana known for? Ghana, they are good, they have gold. So when they came to exploit. They came to steal that natural resources from Ghana. They came to Nigeria. We have different natural resources. When you talk about the coast city like Enugu, they have coal. That's what they call them, coast city. When you talk about the southern parts, then they have cocoa. All these things are the natural resources. They came to exploit both labor, both natural resources, and all these things. It's not for the benefit of we Africans or Nigeria, but it's for the benefit of who? The European powers. Because all this material is being sent to their own country to develop their industry there. We can also say economy is centered, or is typically an economy that is centered on exploiting raw materials. As they are exploiting the raw materials, they are exploiting the labor. As they are exploiting they are enforcing us to produce or using other means to dominate food crops, and they emphasize more promoting cash crop rather than food crops. Now they are promoting cash crop, they are bringing down food crops. At the same time, they are promoting their industry, making our own local indigenous industry to suffer. Let me explain better. Now, when they came, they make sure that we will focus only on producing cash crop. Cash crop like what? Palm oil. What do they do palm oil for? Now, when they export it down to their body, they can use it to make body lotion, they can use it to make soap, they can use it to do different things. Now, the cocoa, they use it for their beverages. Now, they even production of rubber too. All these things are what? Cash crops. They are not food crops, making our food crops to die. They are promoting food crops. They are promoting cash crop, leaving the food crops. At the same time as they are promoting cash crop, the food crops is dying. Now they are encouraging their own industries, because whatsoever they produce and they send it there, they will bring it back for us to buy again. So thereby our own food crops is dying gradually. Also, as they are doing that part, they are also putting high tax on our indigenous industry. We have different indigenous industry. We have the salt making industry, we have the leather work industry, we have the poultry industry, we have the craft industry, we have the textile industry, to mention but a few. Now, the tax that they place on them, the high tax rate that they place on them, make this industry to collapse, thereby encouraging their own industry to grow. So that is what colonial economy is. And the center or the totality of colonial economy does not favor Africa. It never favors Africa. It only favors the European power. It never favors Africa. Now let's move down. We said we have, how does this underdevelop Africa? How does colonial economy underdevelop Africa? Now let me give you an example. One, they promote cash crop and they bring down food crops. Now the people that are supposed to be producing these food crops, to sell this food crop, what are they doing? They are just idle. So if you don't have a plantation where you can produce cash crop, what will you do? You just sit down and exert your labor and go there. Whatever thing they give you, fine. You will take it. You don't have to say anything about it. You're going to manage it the way they give you. How did it underdevelop Africa? That is number one. Number two, it brings down our indigenous industry. Like as I said, we have textile industry in Nigeria. But now the Europeans, they start importing their own textile material, thereby killing our own textile industry. Our textile industry, we have adire. We have the adire. Now most people are not doing adire again. If you see people that say, let me go to the market and go and buy adire, maybe these people that are core traditionalists, they don't want to leave the culture and tradition of our country. They say, no, I must wear this adire. But now what are they doing? They will prefer, they will look at this thing and say, made in US, made in Nigeria. But let me leave that made in Nigeria and focus on made in China, or focus on made in Europe, or focus on made in US, or focus on made in this one. So thereby killing our own indigenous industry. Also, by increasing the high tax rate, now most of our local farmers that want to even venture into this cash crop, when they go out for loan, they don't give them loan. Paradoxically, they want to give them that loan. The interest that they will place on that loan is very high. If they are giving their own fellow British citizens maybe 5%, they will tell you your own will be 50%. How are you going to cover the expenses? You're going to employ labor that's going to work on your plantation. You're going to buy fertilizer if need be. You're going to weed the place. You're going to do so many things before you start. And now the loan that you want to collect to use to start, yet the interest rate is very high. Thereby, they are killing us. They are killing Africa gradually. They are killing our industry or underdeveloping Africa. Now, stealing our labors. Most of this labor, they will take them outside, during that slave trade. These are able-bodied men and women that are supposed to work for our country. They're supposed to do something for the country with their brain, with their strength, with their energy. No, they export them out. And as they export them out, what do you expect? Are they going to develop Africa or do they do? No, they're developing. Another one, trade exchange. Let me explain that trade exchange soon. Now, some of our resources that we produce here, let me use crude oil for example. We have crude oil. We don't have refineries here. We carry it and we export it. After they exporting it, after they finish refining it, they will bring it back to us and sell it with high price. Who is fooling who? The rate is the gap is very high. So that is another way they are using, or they are developing African countries. They are killing African countries. They are killing them gradually. Not even gradually, even killing. They don't even care. Because everything they are doing is just to benefit them alone, not to benefit. They're not putting us into consideration. They're not putting us into consideration. So all these little factors, I will explain, you all have the note already. But just to pinpoint and to elaborate more, these are the ways they are killing African country or underdeveloping African country. Then the last subtopic under this topic, they say, what is the nature? The nature of colonial economy. Simple. In case you just find it in an examination, say, colonial economy, what is the nature of colonial? You don't need to write too much story, my sister. Don't give yourself too much headache. The nature of colonial economic is exploitative in nature. It is to benefit the colonial powers and not to benefit Africans. Period. That is the nature. The nature of colonial economy is exploitative in nature. You understand what it means to be exploitative in nature, and is to underdevelop Africa and to encourage them, the European power. So that is one of the topics. This is first of the topic that we are going to treat. I will move on to another topic, so I will elaborate a little on those topics again.